Let's do it. Domain authority.
Domain authority, my pet peeve, Laurent. Absolutely my pet peeve. Honestly, I mean, just yesterday, I was filling in some stuff for Majestic where somebody came in and said, can you give me some top 4 things about domain authority? You know, myth. For me, I can't understand why this point isn't getting across. That domain authority. Well, there's 2 things to domain authority. Obviously, domain authority is a phrase that's pretty much, I think it's trademarked by Moz anyway. Mm-hmm. So obviously Google don't use Moz's metrics, but you know, even other systems, Ahrefs or Majestic has trust flow at a domain level. And again, I think that's still a mad metric, and Ahrefs have a sort of kind of similar sort of thing. But PageRank was always done at a page level. Exactly. And so there are maybe some signals that are, you know, based around the domain. For example, you've got a Google My Business listing, which is, you know, your business, not your not individual pages on the site. But on the whole, the algorithm is done, I think, at the page level. What do you think?
Exactly. The homepage is just a page. Usually, it's the strongest page because
right, because everything links to that homepage, so it's usually going to be the strongest page on the site for sure. Yeah.
But the key point is exactly what you said. It's page by page that Google, at least again, in our opinion, right?
Yeah.
We are not Google, so let's. But you got to prove us wrong.
Yeah.
We are ready to discuss about it, and if someone wants to come up and prove us wrong, we can debate. But as far as we know, domain authority is just a big myth. And
I think so. And I think on top of that, well, even more so now that Google's moving towards concepts and stuff rather than, you know, web pages for its index. But I think on having understood that, I think we can go and say to people, if you understand the concept that everything's done and all the maths is done at a page level, then you can say, okay, if you've got a big site with lots and lots and lots and lots of pages, the interesting thing there is that however much power that site has overall, somehow or other is going to be that power, however you want to call it, whichever word you do or don't like saying, link juice, PageRank, you know, whizzy green, fairy dust, whatever.
Now we have the semantic rank.
Semantic, absolutely. So if you've got a website that's overall got, you know, an amount of power, that's all dissipated via individual pages. So having millions and millions of web pages can be a problem. So a site like the BBC, very, very powerful homepage and very, very powerful at category levels because there's huge amounts of power in there. But a story that was out 3 years ago that's still on the BBC website now has no links going into it from the BBC, and may or may not have grabbed any links from anywhere else on the web. So therefore, just because you get a page on a link on the BBC or a link on Forbes or a link on put big site in here does not mean that's necessarily a good link. And I think that means that if you're developing a website, then the trick is to make every page count, really. Make every page important.
Last time I did a SEO audit for a news site, 80% of the content was not indexed. 80%.
Really?
Because of what you said. Once it goes out of the usually they have a little block with the latest articles, and once it's out of that, there's most of it
there's no index.
Don't have links, and so it's a happy client once you re-index 80% of the content.
But of course, if those stories are no longer valid to the world, then yes, of course, it's great to get them back in indexed again, but because some of them will be valuable and evergreen, but other ones, actually won't have any value after that. So maybe there's a call for saying, once
True.
once your story isn't a story anymore, then archive it somehow and throw one.
Well, our work, both our new business ventures, are about taking control of the website and taking back control of the content and know what you have basically, and
Yeah.
and what you can count on. And the news site I audited was about soccer, football.
Okay.
Soccer is American American English, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Football. And let's take an example with the headbutt from Zidane.
Okay. Which
In
I
the
didn't
five.
see because I'm not into football, but go on.
Well, he did that famous headbutt in the semifinals or
Oh,
final
yeah.
of
Of course. I
the
did
like
see that. Yeah.
European World Cup or whatever, and that's evergreen content.
Yeah.
It became a meme on the internet and so on. So
Yeah.
that's, you need to be able to analyze that piece of content that goes out of the cycle of news and becomes evergreen.
Yeah.
And most of the time you just publish and don't have any control over your content. So take back control of your content, and don't push too much your homepage. That would be my advice, because the worst I see is, for example, e-commerce website with a very strong homepage and the rest is very weak. So you see the homepage rank for multiple. Sometimes I've seen the homepage rank for half of the keywords.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous.
It is difficult, isn't it? I mean, I'm not an e-commerce expert, so but I see the problems all the time. It is difficult for e-commerce sites increasingly to take over the search, not least because the e-commerce websites, Google doesn't want to put e-commerce sites in the organic results because they want you to pay. So
that's something we're not going to talk about today. But
no.
Yes, of course, if everybody else in front of you is has the same signal, if you're like 11th on a commercial keyword and the top 10 is e-commerce, maybe you should be a little smarter and try to send a different signal. But that's for another video, another day. But what would be because, like, to go back to this e-commerce problem, what I see is, for example, the homepage rank on the anchor text of categories or subcategories, because the homepage is so powerful that just the text on the links, for the people who don't know,
and that's enough to create the ranking. But it gives them a real opportunity to develop those category pages, or develop a more balanced website. And the problem with having everything on the homepage is that your other content is cannibalizing that that homepage ranking, I would guess. So, what would you suggest? Do people then make sure those internal links go the other way, so that they've got the category page ranking for the categories, and they try and spread that love back out to the category pages, or straight to the product pages?
I would think of it differently. The website, from a webmaster point of view, is made like a pyramid of links. Well, I think about it from the entry point, the keyword on Google, for that matter, or the tweet or the Facebook, whatever. And I think about, okay, that entry point, the intent, and that's my homepage.
Yeah.
Because to do a SEO, to give a SEO tip or advice is easy, but you get a SEO advice has to fight against marketing. Maybe you can do this or that because of marketing, and technical limitations. And the homepage has huge technical limitations and marketing priorities that gonna block the SEO optimization. So the homepage for me is marketing first, has to do the correct job, and for different things and use it for PageRank, right?
Yeah.
to put links on there. But yeah, focus on internal, and I like the simple thing: one page, one keyword, and that's it.
Yeah, it's nice if you can do that. You can't always do that, but yeah, I think one of the things about the historical pyramid kind of approach to sort of your internal link structures, I think it's kind of interesting because I think context gets lost in that hierarchy, or can get lost in that hierarchy. And I think that we'll talk again about internal linking, and I'm sure we'll probably repeat this, but I think that having links in the body text is really useful to help Google get that context, because I think Google knows when it's a navigational link, and may not take the context with it. It'll probably take the page rank with it, but it won't necessarily take the context when it's in a hierarchy like that. Whereas if it's in the body of a text, it's got meaning and words, and you and I talk about semantics and topics and things so much that being able to see a link in a sentence allows a natural language program to get more context in that link.
Yeah, in other words, what comes before and after the link is really important, and not all links are equals on the page. Okay, I think we can close the domain authority myth.
Okay, I think we should.
See you next time.
Yeah, thanks a lot then. That's great.